In every corner of the world, stories unfold. Stories of struggle, survival, change, and hope. For 20 years, Maranatha Mission Stories has brought these stories to light, sharing the voices of the unheard, shining a spotlight on the challenges faced by communities many people never see, and the extraordinary impact that can be made through the service of ordinary people. The show has always been driven by one core belief, that storytelling has the power to transform. Today on Maranatha Mission Stories, we revisit the lasting impact of the television show and see what ripple effects the stories shared have created across the world. When it comes to communicating a message, there are few tools more effective than television. Stories come to life on the small screen, bolstered by images, music, and emotion. And visual storytelling is something that has been woven into the fabric of Maranatha's history from the very start with the founder, John Freeman.
Maranatha actually started with a professional photographer, so pictures have always been part of this organization since actually even before it was completely formulated. John Freeman was a professional photographer, went around shooting brochures for different places down the Caribbean and around, and he saw some need, and he brought back pictures, pictures, and he showed it to people, and they got excited about it. Not just the story, it was the pictures, and that got people excited about being involved and doing other things, and so pictures have had an immediate impact from right from the beginning.
The same year Maranatha started, in 1969, the Seventh-day Adventist Church introduced a new way of telling stories. Mission Spotlight was a mission video report created by Oscar Heinrich, and in 1973, Oscar visited Maranatha's landmark project in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Adventist Church leadership in the North American Division had a goal to build a comprehensive ministry center in this frontier region. To lower the construction cost, they asked Maranatha volunteers to help. Oscar collected images and stories documenting the challenges and triumphs of the volunteers. Video reports, created and distributed to churches, catapulted Maranatha's mission onto a larger stage. Maranatha would go on to create similar slide presentations, taking them to church services and area meetings to share. As technology progressed, so did the organization's approach to sharing the mission message. Maranatha produced videos about significant projects and countries, then distributed the VHS tapes as a way to inform people about current events. Kyle Feese, in charge of marketing at the time, remembers the organization's first major endeavors into video production.
We had some volunteers that were interested in video, and they were instrumental in getting Maranatha started with one camera and a computer that we could start to create some video and integrate it into the way that we told the story of Maranatha. At the beginning, we started looking for things that we could tell the story of and put into a video. And so we would make a short video about that and then try to distribute it to our volunteers. We would make it available on VHS tapes, and we'd send it to people and encourage them to share it at their church, to do a little mission spotlight type of a thing at church.
But with an ever-expanding collection of stories to share, in the early 2000s, the organization set its gaze on the larger distribution opportunities that television could provide.
I actually remember the board meeting when we talked about starting some type of a show. We didn't know what it was going to be. We didn't know it was going to be called Maranatha Mission Stories. We didn't know what it was going to look like. We didn't know where it was going to head. But the fact that we needed to get visuals out to people was very clear. This is important. Let's get it out there. Let's put it in front of people in their house.
As we met together and tried to envision what this television show could look like, we were toying with many different concepts and ideas, but one was utilizing a host that could help people, take people on this journey to Maranatha mission projects all around the world. And so who would be a good person for that? We thought about several different ideas, but one name kind of came up to our minds. That was Dick Dirksen. And so we started a conversation with him, and he did a few test programs with us. And eventually he came on board with Maranatha Mission Stories. And he was a storyteller, someone who helped introduce Maranatha's mission to many people's living rooms.
In February 2004, Maranatha launched a monthly television program called Maranatha Mission Stories. Filmed in a studio at the General Conference Office in Maryland, episodes featured stories on the people and places in the world of Maranatha. 3 years later, in another leap of faith, the decision was made to turn the monthly program into a weekly feature. Maranatha designed and built a set and rented studio space at a Sacramento public television station. Stories filmed around the world were presented in studio, and episodes also included interviews with volunteers sharing their mission experience. As the years passed, field episodes became popular, where all of the elements of a complete episode were captured on location rather than in a studio.
I think that the result was that people were able to experience perhaps a Maranatha project vicariously. They were also able to see mission stories that perhaps was something that they hadn't seen for many years, maybe since they were a kid, but they were able to experience missions in a different way.
The thrill and inspiration of the mission field gained traction among viewers. The program gained a devoted audience that not only tuned in each week, but took action.
I hear almost everywhere I go, people talk to me about watching Maranatha Mission Stories. And when you get people saying, that's how I got involved, that's how I went on a trip, that's how I supported financially, whatever it is, you say, well, we just better keep doing this because there's an appetite out there for mission. People are hungry for it, they want to see it.
When I first got baptized as an Adventist, I used to watch Maranatha projects online, and I just thought it was the best thing ever, especially watching the interviews and hearing their experiences, and I always wanted to attend one. And that was 7 years ago. 7 years later, here I am, my first Maranatha trip here in Cuba.
It's been wonderful when I see the horse-drawn carts going down the road, or I see people on their bicycles and these wonderful old cars that they have, you know, and that type of thing. Everything that I've seen on the TV is what I'm living right now.
As I watched these, I just fell in love with the projects, and even though I couldn't go, by supporting it financially, I felt like I was a part of it. And I look forward to them every week. I don't even mind if they're repeated 2 or 3 times. They're amazing. They're really inspirational, and I love them.
Norm Carey is a honeybee farmer. His more than 900 million bees are busy each and every day, 365 days a year. But these bees are doing much more than making honey. They are helping to build schools in India. Norm was so inspired by what he saw on TV, he contacted Maranatha and began giving money to help build schools like this one in Hooghly, India.
It's so rewarding when you give to a project and you see the fruits of it. It's amazing. But I can't wait to get to heaven. I get kind of choked up when I think of how awesome it's going to be. It's part of what I live for. It's what drives me.
When we come back, see how a new audience was introduced to the mission of Maranatha. After a decade of taking viewers around the world, it was time to think bigger and expand our audience outside of North America. Dreaming bigger for Maranatha Mission Stories led the organization to Novo Tempo, the Adventist Church Portuguese-language Hope Channel in Brazil. The television network is a media powerhouse whose passion and goal is to reach the unreached with the message of the gospel. Their potential audience is more than 215 million people around the world. In 2015, Maranatha partnered with Novo Tempo, and the television program Maranatha Historias de Misao was born. Since then, the response has been astounding.
We got very quick feedback that people really enjoyed that content and they were responding to it. And so we continued to do that, and even to this day, we're actively producing content for Novo Tempo in Brazil.
And the impact continues to be actually bigger than we expected it to be, because the audience in South America, Brazil specifically, I think is larger than it is here in English.
The audience has embraced Maranatha, and viewers have accepted the call to join mission trips. Volunteer teams from Brazil have been on projects around the world. Through Maranatha Historias de Misao, the mission of Maranatha has reached across borders, cultures, and walks of life. Iselda Semedo lives on the island of São Tomé in the small town of Boa Entrada. Iselda had access to Novo Tempo. That's where she began watching Maranatha Historias de Misao.
Me chamou a atenção é o programa de Maranatha. Por quê? Porque ela ajudava
The Maranatha program caught my attention because they helped people. Not only building churches, but they would also travel to countries. They helped people who didn't have a church, people who had services under trees. So I watched that, and that's where I heard about the Maranatha program.
o programa de Maranatha.
The episodes were so inspiring that after each program, Iselda would cry and pray for Maranatha and for all the people in need. But she would also make one more request for herself.
Orava pedindo a Deus.
I would pray and ask God that one day Maranatha would come to São Tomé to help us build our church too.
Her church met in the dank basement space of a large housing complex. It was dirty, smelly, and noisy, but every Sabbath, more than 60 people gathered for worship. They needed a real church. So Iselda continued to watch and pray until one day her antenna broke. Eventually, she forgot all about Maranatha. Then, at a pastor's house, she saw an issue of Maranatha's volunteer magazine with a story about São Tomé inside.
I saw a Maranatha magazine and my heart was filled with joy. When I remembered my prayers, my heart started beating fast. I thought, Maranatha came. The Lord has answered my prayers.
The Boa Entrada Church, Iselda's home church, was the first church Maranatha completed in São Tomé. When we come back, learn more about what it takes to bring stories to life. Each week, Maranatha Mission Stories takes viewers on an adventure somewhere in the world. But bringing the world of missions to the viewers' living rooms takes the hard work of a group of dedicated individuals. Christina Lloyd, Director of Television, coordinates the team that produces the program.
Our Maranatha Mission Stories team consists of a small but talented group of individuals whose goal is to bring the mission of Maranatha Volunteers International and communicate that to our audience. This includes producers who organize and schedule all of our stories. We have cinematographers that capture compelling, beautiful images. We have writers who put together those stories, weave them together, and then our editors take all of the pieces, both the writing and the images, and weave those together to make a television show for our viewers. Our staff meets regularly to look at the marketing goals of the organization. This includes looking at potential stories, taking a look at our schedules to figure out what travel might be, and then we brainstorm what new and exciting ways we can come up with to get people excited about missions.
Then the travel begins. When they arrive, the television crew works with Maranatha's in-country team to film stories. From driving to translating, Maranatha's staff there help with arranging all of the details, much like how they help organize volunteer mission trips.
Our in-country field staff are unsung heroes in many ways, but especially to our media team. What we do would not at all be possible without their help. And they help us with coming up with stories, keeping their eyes and ears open for potential stories and feeding those to us so that we can help plan the trip. And then once we arrive, they're doing everything from translating to helping be a liaison between us and the local people whose stories we're trying to tell. They take exceptional care of us. They help us accomplish our goals when we're on the ground, and that might be cooking a meal on the roadside because they want us to have safe meals. Whatever it is that we need, they are always up for the challenge.
Sometimes capturing stories for the television program takes the crew to locations far off the beaten path. This means the accommodations may be a bit more rustic.
Welcome to the media team's sleeping quarters. It's my tent. This is the tent for Leo and Tom.
So we're here. It's raining. We were just constructing and started raining like crazy.
No matter the weather, location, or the accommodations, once on the ground, the team is in search of stories that will help people learn more about the world and about the best ways we can help each other.
When we're in the field, when you're a producer, really your job is story gathering. It's a lot of listening, it's a lot of going around and meeting people. We're trying to get to know people and figure out what is the new story here, what's a different angle, and how can we best communicate need or the impact of Maranatha in an area. So a lot of times it's just going around talking to people, whether it be in a formal sit-down interview or just casual conversation, trying to get to know them and figure out what are ways that Maranatha's work is going to impact their life and what's the best way to tell that story. Some of the best stories come when you're just ready, willing, and open to listen to people. I feel like it's really important to build trust and a rapport with the people whose stories we're telling. They're trusting us with their story, and it involves them being really vulnerable. So a lot of times it's not just getting down to business, it's taking a little bit of time to getting to know them as a person. And we do that. Sometimes it might just be telling them, hey, take us to where you get water, and taking that walk with them. Or spending time with them around their homes, or spending time with kids in the classroom to get to know what their school day is like. And when you build that trust, people open up and are willing to share their stories. And I think that's a responsibility that we as producers take very seriously, and we want to make sure that we are really communicating the true message of the people whose stories we're being trusted with.
The media team immerses themselves in the environments they film to capture the sights, sounds, and emotions of each place. The result is more than just beautiful cinematography. It's a chance for viewers to step into someone else's world and truly understand what life is like on the ground.
How are you feeling, Julie?
Well,
the house is just right there, really close.
they said it's really close. Just 800 meters, over 2 mountaintops, up a steep ridge. And we're not even the ones carrying 5 gallons of water on our head.
At the end of a trip, when you're getting on that airplane, you want to make sure that you are confident you have all the materials that we need to come back to the office here and put together a story that is compelling and will encourage people to get involved in missions.
The work doesn't end when the trip is over. There is still a lot to do to create an episode of Maranatha Mission Stories. Members of the television team work on writing scripts, tying all of the pieces of the story together, all of the things people said in their interviews, and writing narration for a voiceover artist to read. Then one of the editors takes all of the interviews, footage, voiceover, and music and edits them together, creating an episode of Maranatha Mission Stories. And not every episode is produced solely in the field.
Although we no longer film at KVIE, the local television station here, when Maranatha moved to our current office space years ago, we designated a space that could be used as a studio. And over the years, the studio has evolved. It's gone through several different iterations, and currently we have a really flexible space that allows us to film short things like Maranatha Minute or donor videos, or longer form interviews like what we do for our podcast, Inside Missions. So it's a really flexible space that we are able to take material that we capture in the field and integrate that into studio interviews and other things that help us create different types of television programs.
Over the last 20 years, more than 300 episodes of Maranatha Mission Stories have been produced, transporting viewers to more than 35 countries. Today, not only is the program available on television networks such as 3ABN, the Hope Channel, or Novo Tempo, but streamed on demand to set-top boxes or mobile devices via the Maranatha Channel app.
We all have anecdotes about how the television show has impacted the organization, but I think that it's bigger than we all even fully can comprehend. I think that over the years, as people have watched Maranatha Mission Stories, they've become aware of this organization in a way that would have been really hard to do using any other medium.
We call it Maranatha Mission Stories because there are stories. Every project, there's multiple stories among the volunteers, especially among the locals. Lots of great stories. If we do more, accomplish more, and people are able to see more, they'll get more involved. I would hope to see that.
And I think that we would be a different organization now had we not made that commitment to get out and to use the television show not as a way to just market Maranatha, but as a way to help spread the word and the mission of Maranatha, which is to get involved in service and to follow the request that Jesus gave to all of us to go into all the world. And so I think it's just bigger than, let's try to increase the market share of Maranatha, or let's get some more donations, or let's try to recruit some more volunteers. I think that it's been integral in the overall Maranatha mission of sharing Jesus with people all around the world. And so for that, I think that it's been successful.
55 years ago, no one could have predicted how media would play such a huge role in furthering the work of Maranatha. But because of Maranatha's spirit of innovation over time, from photographs to slideshow to videotapes to international broadcast on television and the ever-expanding internet, the mission of Maranatha is reaching into the furthest corners of the world. It is taking the gospel of Jesus Christ to the ends of the earth, just as we have been called to do. Whether it's through word of mouth or through a screen, it's the Great Commission in action. Maranatha, Lord, come.